this is Becky. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to continue talking about Archangel Michael, the Blue Ray. Now he has some physical associations, which are parts of the body, such as the throat, the thyroid, and the parathyroid, upper lungs, jaw, base of the skull, and body weight. He helps soothe, restrain, inhibit, and calm hot conditions. He reduces fevers and regulates hyperactivity, inflammatory, and derailing processes. He brings clarity and serenity. He also eases ear and throat infections. He uses stiff necks and stiff neck attitudes. Natural pain reliever. He lowers high blood pressure and heart rate. Calms the central nervous system, which reduces stress. He's also good for a sick room and for those who are terminally ill. So if you need help with any of those, you can call on Archangel Michael to help you. He's also associated with some emotional and mental associations. So he helps combat fear of speaking the truth. He calms the mind, which helps you think more clearly and brings peace and detachment from worldly concerns. His spiritual associations is to inspire you to become a seeker of higher truth and hidden knowledge. The Blue Ray represents the power and will of God and carries the power of faith and protection. It helps us develop the surrendering of our little will, which is our ego, to the higher will of God, so it can be used for developing devotion. So sometimes we have to remind ourselves that it's not our will that needs to be done, but God's will, and that you can go against the grain, but in the end, God's going to win. And you get to decide if you want to experience your lessons in joy or in misery. That's the joy of free will. And I personally want to be in alignment with what God's got planned for me, even if it's outside of the plans that I have for myself. All right, so let me go ahead and start off with some ancestor messages. So let's see what I always say my grandparents, because I always find women talk more than men, usually. So in the spirit realm, when it comes to my ancestors, many of the men are there, but like I said, they're just kind of like, and every once in a while I'll come in and give me a stern what for. But the women are usually the ones that are chatty and be like, oh, you need to talk to this person, you need to go over here, you need to do this, go over here and do that. So that's why for me, usually it's my grandmothers that I channel, my great grandmothers, and but every once in a while the men will jump in there and be like, put the ladies in line, be like, no, don't listen to her. Remember what she did when she was alive? Yeah, I don't know, you want to take her advice. I'm telling you, spirit world is fun. They keep me on my toes and laughing more than most people around me. Okay, we have the King of Pentacles, which is also the King of Diamonds. It says stable, mature, and successful, prosperous, self-reliance, taking charge, successful realities, sound judgment, a wise mentor, long-term financial control, businessman, grounded, authoritative, and guidance to finance. Definitely calling in the men who resonate with this to be able to help me, because I do girl math and have invested everything I can into my business, and give you some more advice on how to move forward. It's kind of windy. I don't know if these are going to stay, so I'm not going to try these little ones. The bigger cards are a little heavier and thicker, and so they'll probably stay up better. Alright, we get one more message. I usually like taking 3 from my ancestors. Okay, so I had the King of Diamonds, and here we got King of Hearts, so masculine energy here. This is also known as the King of Cups. This one represents self-mastery, emotional maturity, feelings and logic are in alignment, diplomatic, providing comfort for others, reassurance, wisdom, and balance. So that's awesome to hear that I'm calling in people that are financially stable as well as balanced within their heart and their mind. So that way when they come to help me, there's no greed, there's no lust, there's no ego, we're doing God's work together, and we're going to figure out how we can help the most people with our gifts, because I'm not the only one who's gifted. Obviously they're gifted too in different ways. So how can we put all of our puzzle pieces together in order to help people? All right, one more message. Ancestors are coming in good today. I like their messages. They're not yelling at me. Not to say that they were mean, they were just strict. And that was what I used to try to tell people when I was in the classroom and raising my kids. I'm not mean, I'm just strict. That's because Spirit's strict with me, so Alright, one more. Let's see what we get. This one is 7 of Wands, which is the 7 of Clubs. It says self-control, spiritual introspect, strength and effort, spiritual growth, self-reflection, control over destiny, and overcoming obstacles and victory through determination. So if you're part of my collective, we're all on a lifelong journey of spiritual growth, so it never stops. The lessons continue and continue. So if you're like me, where I used to be like, oh my gosh, when do I get to the finish line? I'm so tired of learning these lessons. Yeah, well, they don't stop. You just learn how to handle them better. And I'm happy that you're part of my collective, because we are obviously learning to have a better perspective on things that are happening. Even the things that we don't want to happen, well, they ultimately serve a purpose. Alright, let's go next. Okay, so I did a whole series on my videos for my YouTube channel that do the Alice in Wonderland, which is one of my favorite oracles, so I thought I'd go ahead and pull one of those. I did all of them as individual little videos because I love their messages. So let's just see which one pops out. And then you can go ahead and find it and listen to the whole message. Like, I'm just going to read the little caption for it. So go to the bottom one. We have 43, manage to be glad. So if you want to know more about that message, you can find it on my YouTube station. Yeah, the wind's pretty intense. Let's see if we can do that. But yeah, you can go ahead and find that video, and it'll give you more description on that message. Next, I'm going to choose. This one is the Mystic Shaman Pocket Oracle, which I really love because I actually trained with Marcela Lobos and Alberto Villodo, who are neuro shamans for the Four Winds, and so I love getting to promote their deck. And just great messaging too. So we're going to take one message from the Mystical Shaman now. Wild Woman. I was just listening. So sometimes I get downloads of songs and music, and I was listening in my head, Wild Thing, I think I love you. I don't know why that one came in. So I must have been making somebody up in the ethers pretty happy that I'm sticking to my divine blueprint, which does not look like anybody else's blueprint, and I've had way too many people try to tell me how to do this and what it should look like, and I think that they like the way I'm handling things. Alright, 62 says, the essence. When the wild woman dances into your reading, she reminds you of the essence of authenticity and freedom. Divested of all social constraints and cultural conformity, the wild woman holds up a mirror to your essential self, the true essence of who you are and who you're meant to become. She is a reminder of the bright light within each of us and gets dimmed for restrictions imposed upon us by the expectations of society. I'm here to teach you to color outside the lines. I've spent 50 years trying to fit into the box of everybody's expectations of what divinity looks like, what religion looks like, what service looks like, what being a wife looks like, a mother, a sister, because just be you. Just do you. She reminds us that in order to be fully present to life, we must uncover that light and let it shine brightly, regardless of the perceived consequences. Those that are meant to be in your life are going to stay in your life. Those that are meant to leave are going to leave. And there's nothing you can say or do to change that. And I try to teach people, like, treat people like Velcro. Like, they're going to come and stick with you for a little bit, but eventually something's going to catch their eye and they're going to detach and they're going to go down a rabbit trail, meeting other people, doing other things, living their own life. And if they come back and attach to you, again, cool. And if not, somebody else is going to come along like Velcro and attach to you. So just let people come and go as they need to, and you'll be a lot happier. The invitation. So when the wild woman comes to dance in your reading, you're invited to shine brightly and to know that your true self is being called out to engage the world. This is a symbol that your long-held dream is beginning to take root and wants to be expressed. Your authentic self doesn't fit in a box. It needs the freedom to shine. It's time to have courage and step into the light. The wild woman says, shine brightly, dance with abandon, be yourself, and let the Great Spirit decide what happens. You'll be happy that you did. The medicine? Excess for its own sake is a sign of imbalance. This is a warning that you may be trapped in obsessive thinking or behavior. You're looking for release in places that will never provide it. Let go, lest you become like the hungry ghosts of the Chinese Buddhist lore that can never be fulfilled. True release comes from trusting the fluidity of life, understanding that just as a river needs its banks to flow through, so too do you need boundaries around your thinking and behavior. Now is the time to simplify, be mindful, and connect to the light within. And I do believe that tonight is supposed to be a strawberry full moon. Last night I was part of a drum circle, and so we were just talking about what we wanted to release with this full moon, and really putting out into the ethers what we want to fill that void. Because when you release things, that leaves a hole that's going to get filled with something, and the universe doesn't like, voids. It likes to fill in. So when you get rid of something, be prepared for something else to come in. So we talked about what we wanted to release and what we wanted to call in for ourselves. And so hopefully you can find a group or on your own to do a little fire ceremony for what you want to release, and then do some meditations and prayers on what you want to call in. And I do believe I have a video for how to do a fire ceremony, so you can look at that if you need some extra help. All right, let's do nature. No, before we go to the nature, let's pick from the Keepers of the Light. I like to hear which Ascended Master has a message for us. So. Thank you, Spirit, for giving us the guidance that we need at this time to get through yet another beautiful day. Well, we got Master Jesus again. He's really wanting to keep me totally confirmed that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because a lot of times I feel like I'm supposed to be out interacting with people and like trying to, another little chipmunk, my goodness, and some birds. I just sometimes get lost with this technology thing because it seems so, I'm just sitting here talking to myself, you know? And I'm old school. I'm used to face-to-face conversations and getting people together in a group. And so trying to navigate this technology world, which is not a world that I ever really want to be part of, without getting sucked into it and making it another addiction, which I think that was what one of the other messages was letting me know, is that I'm spending too much time trying to figure out this stuff and kind of relax and let go, because it really is all in God's timing and God's hands. And I haven't even met all the people that are going to come in to help me with this project. So you are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father, healing is possible at this time. Just need to keep reminding ourselves that what you're called to do in one season might change. It's, you know, for me, it's been an evolution, spiritually as well as financially. Okay. But along the way, there's a book that I read called Who Moved My Cheese? It's a short read, it's an easy read, and it really helped me be able to take more risks in life, because it talks about, you know, mice in a maze that's trying to get to the cheese. And you got three types of mice in life. You got the mice that just sit there and starve to death because they never move forward because they're too afraid of the unknown, because you don't know where you're going in the maze. And so then they just starve to death because they never even try to go get the cheese. They wait for somebody to bring the cheese to them, and nobody's coming to bring you the cheese. The second type of mouse is the one who goes out slowly, cautiously, looking around, going, okay, is it safe to go around this corner? I'm not so sure. Let me take a peek. That was the mouse that I used to be. I'd be like, all right, I'm making progress, but there could be a cat around there or a dead end. And then the third type of mouse is the mouse that usually gets the cheese, and they just run like a crazy person going, okay, I'm gonna try over here. Nope, that wasn't it. I'm gonna try over here. Okay, hey, I found the cheese. So I try to balance between those second ones, because sometimes I've taken risks that did not pan out, and then I'm like, dang it, I need to slow myself back down and be a little more cautious. And then I find myself kind of being too cautious, then I'm like, all right, we got to jump this up, we got to take some more risks, because this ain't working either. So it's all fine-tuning what works for you, but that book might be something worth checking out. All right, now I did a whole series on these cards. These are from my Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards, and so each of these cards has a story about spiritual journeys. And so I'm just going to choose a card, and then you can go find that video if you want to know more about that particular message. All right, this one is Discovery. And let me find out with Discovery which chakra that is. It looks like it's red. So let me see here. Might be orange. Some of these colors are a little close for my eyes. Yeah, so Discovery, that is for the red chakra. That's your first chakra. That's your root chakra, which is something I've been working on healing. So if you're part of my collective, I know you're working on healing that. That's your safety, security, that your needs are going to be met. Being alone out in this world, I'm often questioning, like, Lord, am I in the right spot? I feel like I need to move somewhere, but how am I going to move there without the resources I need to move there? And then I get caught up and get my root chakra all out of balance. So if you're wanting more about the discovery card, you can find that on my channel on one of my other videos. And let's go ahead, since we're talking about the chakras, and I have a whole video series on these as well. These are the chakra energy deck. So I will pick one of these, and then if you're interested, you can find that video and work on that particular chakra. Let's see if it's going to end up being another root chakra. Maybe it's something different. Let's see. I'll just go without looking because I can see the colors. So. Oh, it's the third eye chakra, and it is card 47. So if you want to find that video, it's talking about the third eye chakra and your breath. And then it's also showing you the hand motion is the Hakini Mudra. Hopefully I said that right. It says, I trust my intuition and delight in moments of synchronicity. But that video is also listed somewhere on my channel. Oh, and let's do a star seed oracle. For not everybody understands what star seeds are, and so I'm helping again to elevate people from thinking of us as just being earthly beings as to being from the stars. I mean, our bodies are made out of the same materials as the universe. So starseed is just a way to kind of just think outside the box on who we are. And God planted us down here, and we're all blooming and growing. And so not to take life so seriously, but serious enough that you don't put yourself in danger. All right, this one says, the breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Like I was saying earlier, it's not supposed to be what the ego wants, which is usually how we're conditioned to, okay, you gotta pick your career and pick your lifestyle and pick this and you gotta do that. And then when you start to get to a point in your life where you're like, oh, I was programmed for all that stuff. Like, I actually wasn't picking it consciously. It was my subconscious that was programmed for these things. And then when you start to like unlearn stuff, and then you start to really realize who you are and how much power you actually have, well, then you have to get that ego in check, because there's many people out here who think that they are God and commanding the universe. And guess what? Like, you're just building towers of Babel then. You really have to be a humble servant and let spirit work through you in order for the universe to give you your best destiny. Now you have to take the action and do the work that, you know, spirit tells you to do. And sometimes, for me, that's been hard, sometimes it's to do nothing. And I'm just like, what do you mean do nothing? Like, that makes no sense. But we have to let other people, because we're not in this alone, other people are just sometimes they wait for you to do everything, which has been why I never liked team sports. I never really liked team projects in school, you know, when they would group you in a group and you'd have to like work together. I'd end up doing all the work and they'd get the A too, and I'd be like, this is dumb. I don't like this. So as a grown-up, I'm having to learn to play well with others, and take some humbling experiences to be like, you know what, I'm gonna sit back and let you lead for a while. Let's see how you do. But it's hard when you're a perfectionist and you're like, it's not how it should be done, but okay, all right, we'll let it go. Like I said, there's lots of lessons that you'll always be learning. And oh, now I'm getting the song Life's a Dance that you learn as you go. That's a good one. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow. Don't worry about what you don't know. Life's a dance. You learn as you go. Thank you, Granny. All right, now let's do a star seed wisdom for spiritual growth. Let's see what we get here for this message. It says, Starseed, raise the vibration of the planet through your radiant, loving light. I like that one. I think a lot of times we tend to keep a low vibration thinking about negative things and should have been this way, could have been that way, just like me with leading, right? Like, I'm just a natural born leader, and when God's telling me, sit down and let other people lead, I'm just like, I don't like this. But it's okay, I'm learning. All right, and we're gonna end this video with our message from Archangel Raphael, Healing Oracle. And let's see what he wants to tell us for today. It says, Sunlight. Dear Archangel Raphael, please help me enjoy the benefits of sunshine in safe and healthy ways. I know I'm trying to get more vitamin D, being out in the sun more while I can when the weather's good, because I know before too long summer's going to be flying by. We're going to be in fall, back in the cold weather, and staying indoors more. So if that's you wanting to enjoy just the air conditioning and stay inside, I recommend getting out there and getting that vitamin D. It's great for our mental health as well as our physical wellness. And Archangel Raphael says, get more sunshine. All right. I hope you have a blessed day.